charging away.
Let's turn on some sound, and now hopefully everyone can hear us that is online and watching us right now. So welcome to the show, mate. Well,
yes,
the first time I invited you was a while ago, and we both had a lot of stuff that came in the way since then, so I'm very happy to see you here, mate.
No, I know you're right, man. We talked about doing this like August or something last year, dude. And I was on vacation. I got back and it was just like a shitstorm. Yeah. And then the last couple of months of 2020, I was doing really good in the first part of the year. I know a lot of people were having a lot of issues. I particularly had, but it hit me hard the end of 2020, man. I got hammered. And I just, I didn't end the year very well. And so I dropped the ball on tons of things, man. So I'm very happy to be here with you, hanging out. And, we're going to talk about all the things, all of them.
Exactly. I want to, I've seen some of your videos. I've also seen that you cover a lot of different topics, and I want to talk about that. But before that, I can really relate to that because when it becomes winter, dark and cold, I tend to be affected by that in a negative way. So I can really relate to putting on too much work during the good months and then having a hard time keeping up with it in the winter. And that is why the last few weeks there has been less videos. I've put out videos each week, but less than I did before and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I'm catching up. I'm getting better. The spring is on. I'm going out walking. I'm in the gym as I should, and everything is going well. So awesome. I can really relate to that.
Yeah, it's great to hear, man.
So let's start from the beginning. You came into the crypto space pretty early on compared to a lot of folks that are probably watching this now. When did you join and how?
Yeah. It's been a while, man. So I got into Bitcoin in 2013. That's when I first read this Satoshi's original white paper. I had actually seen it a year previously, but it was one of those paths. Like I was in a news forum. I was reading some stuff and someone was like, I'm a tech guy. So I'm always kind of keeping abreast of techie type stuff, and someone was talking about this Bitcoin thing. And I was like, that's internet money. I'm like, all right, I'll go check that out. And I click a link to go check it and buy it. And then right next to it was Litecoin. And I'm like, wait, no, there's two coins. That's stupid, man. What? This is definitely a scam. So I was like, whatever. And then 2013 is kind of when it came back on my radar. And I was like, all right, I've seen this before. I really need to go look and see what it's about because now people are just really talking about it, in these tech circles. So I did, and I read the white paper, and that was like really when it hit me. And I was like, I need to get in on this. The ethos is really what got me, man. It was the ethos behind the white paper because I was devastated by the 2008 financial collapse, man. I was in a really high-end job. I have a degree in architecture. I worked in that field for a decade. That's what I was doing then. And then all of a sudden, boom, laid off. There's nothing to do in the world of building, anything. So, I was very grossly affected by that. And that was what birthed the Bitcoin. So it really hit hard to me and hit home when I saw that. And he put the that message in the Genesis block, like that right there was just like, I almost cried, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, holy crap, someone understands. I want to be a part of this. I need in right now. So I did. I did a little bit of research for like another month or so, talked with a friend of mine who was in crypto, my good buddy, Rye. And I ended up buying my first Bitcoins in 20, like it was the very beginning of 2014. And I felt so good about it, And then 4 months later, Mount Gox.
Yeah,
You guys know Mt. Gox is the biggest Bitcoin hack in history, and
yeah.
I think it still is, yeah, because of the price back
And if
then.
anyone like find that interesting and search for it, there's a lot of question marks around it as well, which is kind of fun.
Yes.
But what I love there is like for anyone watching now, they look at the Bitcoin price, they see $56,000, which we went up to today, and then when you say, yeah, 2014, I bought some Bitcoins as my first one, and if we relate that to today, that is so exciting. But back then, that was so far from the reality. Personally, I don't know which year. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe 2014, 2015, 16. Some of these years is the first time I heard about Bitcoin. I read it and like, and then I went on with my life until I think it was spring 2016 when I went back and say, hey, it has something here, and I started to buying Dash actually as my first crypto.
Wow, that's cool.
I felt like, oh, digital payments all over the world, this makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a similar story. Like I when I bought that Bitcoin, and then all that stuff happened with Mt. Gox, I was watching it actively, and that happened. I was like, oh man, this was maybe not the best investment, not a very good move there, Stache. But I was like, whatever, I'm just going to sit on it. Who cares? And I did. I sat on all my holdings until kind of similar mid 2016. I was like, hey, I wonder what's going on with that Bitcoin stuff. I haven't really looked at it. I still have some. And then that's when I saw Ethereum. And I was like, ooh, Ethereum, where I can like do stuff on it. That's really, I'm a developer. I was like, that interests me, to be able to do smart contracts, things like that. And that really like put me back into the scene. And that's when I started to get involved in the community, trying to talk to my friends about it who didn't care at all. They're just like, shut up, I don't care, So yeah, and then I started a little website to kind of just jot my thoughts down, and the rest is Stache history.
The rest is stashed.
Yeah, and the rest is stashed. It's all stashed on my website too, man. You can see my first post that I put up, and it's like it's like an introduction. It just says, "Hey, I'm," it's, I don't know, it's the whole thing. So, yeah, very
I
cool
gotta go and look at that. Actually, I have not gone back that far on your website, so I really
yeah. It's all there, man.
It's linked below for anyone that wants to find it on YouTube. I don't think those links follow to Twitter for anyone watching there. Yeah, so that is way back, and I'm like, at that point the whole crypto space was different, and you go and say that you talk to your friends and they didn't really buy it. Most of my friends still don't. They still think it's a joke. They think it's a scam. I actually got my
they're still doing it. They're still doing it to me. I'm like, come on, man, seriously? What do I have to do? What does Bitcoin have to do? Like really, what point is it where you give, all right, Stache, damn it, you were right again. I should have listened. Please help me now. And I always tell them, hey, no matter how much you shunned me, I am always here with open arms to help everybody that I possibly can to understand better the technical aspects and do it simply.
Yeah, that's you and me both, and that's really good. We need to help educate people, because like if I asked back a few years, financial or economics at all was boring. I didn't like it. I had no interest in it. And then I started reading books about it. And then I started to really find interest and joy. And the more I learned about economics and finance, the more interest I found in cryptocurrency, and the more sense everything made for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually had a friend that has like, he don't have a lot of money, and he got a few NFTs. I donated some to him just to give him some kind of joy, and that makes sense. And he talked about it with his coworkers. They don't think he should buy crypto, but the NFT made sense for them, which is strange for me, because for most people that is the opposite way that I talk to them. How is that for you?
Yeah, I have found also that NFTs are a little of an easier sell, I think, to people than it is really like some of these ones, because I think just because that it's almost like it's connected to something they already know. People know about collecting things. Most people have collected something, whether they realize it or not. But avid collectors definitely get it. And a lot of people collect things like baseball cards or comic books, or even Pogs back in the day. A lot of people collected all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, me too, man. I collected all the stuffs. And so it makes a ton of sense to me. So anyone who has ever collected anything, I think they totally get it. I think artists also get it very well, because they've been screwed over in so many different ways. Performing arts, so music, musicians, and also traditional artists as well. All these people are being middled. They're being middleman, And those are the industries, the creative industries, where the middleman is always the dude who's taking the biggest chunk and screwing over these people a lot of times. You know, it's like they're taking 30, 40, 60% sometimes. Like, sure, you can show your stuff in my gallery. You just got to give me 60% of your sales. What?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So blockchain helps with that. NFTs can help with that. And I think that's something that those people really identify with, because they want to get rid of that middleman.
Yeah, and also like for these smaller artists, they're living in poorer communities. If you go to Wax, it's not expensive to create an NFT. It's not expensive to get it out. You might have to do some research, learning a few things. What is IPFS? How do I create this drop on blocks? Because all the interface is not here, all the tools are not available, but they can do it, and they can go and sell something for a few cents, for a few bucks, and that can make a huge difference for them.
Yeah, no, it could be huge. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and we've seen a lot of activity, and there's a lot of up and coming artists coming over to Wax. And, you know, I know both me and you have been onboarding people, trying to just help out, because it's just, it's a great ecosystem to create, in particular for smaller creators, you know, people who, you know, you can't do it on Ethereum because it's like, oh, I'm just getting started. I can't sell this for $1,000 or, you know, 0.5 ETH, like, you know, other people are, to cover the fees and things like that. So you get to a point where, like, you know, it doesn't make sense unless you're doing really high dollar stuff a lot of times on Ethereum.
Yeah, for sure. And then also you have to take into consideration about the private keys and keeping them in track. There are tools for that as well, but as with the cloud wallet, people have actually started to talk about it today. A few weeks it started. There are people that go and find email and password or social logins and go into cloud wallets and take their NFTs. And that is something I have to tell you, everyone that is watching. Make sure you have 2FA and use a password manager for everything.
2FA should always be on. You shouldn't be using that cloud wallet or anything especially anything connected to a social account. And personally, I don't recommend using the social logins to be able to create your account, a cloud account. Always use an email. That's my personal preference, because I feel like social media networks are a lot more vulnerable than an email can be in many different cases. So that's what I say. Definitely go with email and 2FA always. Don't skip it. Don't be stupid. It doesn't take a lot of extra effort. That should be like your biggest tool in crypto is 2FA, man.
Yeah,
right there with you.
Exactly. And so let's go back to what we're here to talk about today, but we just had to point that out because there was a lot of discussions about it today in the Wax ecosystem. So you found Bitcoin, and then you found Ethereum and a Litecoin in there as well. Where did you take off later? And are you still involved in these projects? Or you talked about Bitcoin as a positive thing, so I guess you're still there. And
yeah, I mean, I still invest in many of the top 10, 20 market cap coins for sure. I diversify my investments, so I love Bitcoin, definitely my first love. But yeah, I also invest in a lot of NFT based projects and gaming based chains as well. So definitely in those. But yeah, I mean, I still own Bitcoin. I still own Litecoin and Ethereum. I have, a decent amount of those. I've used a ton of Ethereum, like because I do games like that. That's really been one of the big focus of that chain and gaming studios who want to do blockchain stuff. I've been working with Engine for multiple years now on things like that and helping to promote that ecosystem. And so yeah, I'm definitely still involved in those. I'm kind of biding my time a bit on Ethereum because we're just waiting for a scaling solution, guys, and they've been dangling the damn carrot for us for a while. So we're but like people like Immutable are coming with scaling solutions as our Engine, and then hopefully with one of these next EIPs, hopefully we'll get some help on Ethereum. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 2 years away for a lot of years. But yeah, let's hope that it is available. So we just need to see it start to be used, I guess. So on Ethereum and I guess Engine, because I haven't really utilized Engine at all. I know about it. I know a little bit of what they are doing, but what is Engine and why? What's the positive aspects of that compared to just using Ethereum?
Yeah, so Engine is actually a company that I was using and familiar with before they even got into blockchain. Most people don't know that Engine was an existing company with already a really good working product. They allowed people to. It was they allowed gamers to be able to create, simple websites for like their guild or for their, things like that, to organize membership for different in-game things. And so you could sign up to Engine and you could create your own like guild website using their tools. And it was, you could have upgraded paid services, and it was actually a pretty cool thing. And so when I saw them getting into blockchain, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, ICO, huh? And I was like, all right, I'll jump in, and I did. And then, but so the focus of what they're doing here in blockchain is creating a set of tools for developers of video games to be able to incorporate blockchain really simply and easily, right? So if you're working on Unity, boom, you could just slide in the Engine SDK, and you already have now an integrated wallet with the Engine wallet, which is one of the best wallets. They've created the ERC 1155 token standard, which expands off of 721 on Ethereum, and really helps with a lot of the issues we've seen, and then more functionality for different schemas inside of games. And so they've created this ecosystem with the SDK for development, the wallet, and then completing it with the marketplace and Explorer, where you can go in and trade ERC 1155s for all these games. And so they built out a pretty good stable of games that are using Engine technology to bring blockchain easily into their stuff. And obviously, we know that scaling in Ethereum has been difficult, so it's been crushing some of these studios. So what they've been working on recently is, like their Efinity or their JumpNet solution, which is essentially going to help games to be able to do transactions with zero fees, and then you're pushing it on chain at some point too. And so it's like a secondary side, a scaling solution, and they're going to be implementing that in a lot of their game studios and stuff here pretty soon. And excited for that. So.
Yeah, and all of these tools are very highly needed. I'm a gamer myself, and I really want to see more integrations. I know that like Minecraft plugin with Ethereum has existed in Engine for a long time, and now it's coming for Wax. And with Wax, how transactions work with microtransactions that are free, we can do a lot of cool things here that is very hard to do on a lot of different other places at all. And that is very excited. So have you followed that project, the Uplift World, and what's your take on that?
On Uplift World, I mean, definitely, I love the fact that they're incorporating that. I'm not the biggest fan of Minecraft, guys. That's what I'll just be perfectly honest. I like the fact that they're incorporating. I love that they're doing really cool things with it, incorporating crypto. I just don't really like playing Minecraft. Sorry, I mean, that's what it comes down to. So
that's good.
I fully support it. I love what they're doing, especially the charity element that they're bringing in, and I love the team members. And you guys should definitely go support it. I don't really like playing Minecraft.
What kind of okay, for people that hasn't watched your videos, what kind of games do you like to play?
I mean, I'll play whatever. I'll play any kind of game. It's just, in particular, I've never been a big fan of like the super pixelated style. Like voxels are one thing, but I don't know. Minecraft was never a big thing. But personally, my entire life, I've always been an RPG player. Like I love RPGs. I used to play table games, Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. I mean, I'm a super nerd, man. I know I don't look like one. I just look super sexy, right? But the fact of the matter is like, yeah, dude, I've been building computers since I was a kid. I taught myself how to code at 16, and I've been in that world for a long time. And so I love fantasy and I love RPGs, and then I got moved into MMO RPGs as well. So I love things with a great storyline, things that but I also love shooters. So FPSs and things like that. Definitely love playing those. I play Warzone and Apex Legends sometimes, and I don't play as much Fortnite, but I've definitely played it. I have it and stuff like that. So I get into a lot of different games, man. I just anything that kind of is fun, has a lot of action, and Minecraft is just never something that really like, oh man, I love this. It's just like okay.
Then I gotta ask, have you played Ark Survival Evolved?
Okay, so I have not played Ark, but I've looked at game footage from Ark a bunch, and because when I looked at it, I always look for new games and MMOs in particular. I'm like, oh, this could be cool to get into. I looked at it and I was like, I could get into this, but I don't know. I just hadn't pulled the trigger, man, because there's been so many other things that have been hitting me, right? So like, I started playing Cyberpunk when that first came out, and I was doing that. And then last year before that, I was finishing up Red Dead Redemption 2, which I had not gotten around to playing for like years. And I love that game, man. Red Dead RDR2 was so good. And there's a couple other ones like that I was kind of, really great games I had just not gotten to in the last year or two, because I had kind of waned on doing MMO stuff. And like Witcher 3 was another one I played, beginning of 2020, because like, COVID, man. And I'm in the house a lot more. So I was kind of catching up on my queue of games that I wanted to get through. And then Cyberpunk kind of threw a little wrench there, and I had to play that. I still haven't finished that damn game. But then on top of that, man, I got an Oculus Quest. And I was playing Half-Life Alyx. I don't know if you played that thing, but that is amazing. And I'm like so close to finishing that too. I just got to get just a little bit further and I'll be done for sure. And I love that. So I've been playing a bunch of stuff, and it just, sometimes it's hard to get to all the fun games I want to play. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for me, Ark Survival Evolved is the best game I will not play again. Because
wait, why is the best
consuming.
game you'll never play again?
Because they're high risk, high reward game. Yeah. Like you get addicted, you love it. It's so much fun, and then it's devastating, and then it's fun, and then it's devastating because the servers are always on. People can raid you. You can lose everything. Sometimes you spend 14 hours in real life taming one dino, and then you walk off a cliff and it dies.
That sounds about right. I love that though.
Yeah,
I was just talking about that in an interview earlier, man, about that risk versus reward. We've really taken that out of a lot of games. Yeah. It used to be in every game, but then people start complaining. You got all these plebes, and it's like, but my stuff, and I'm just like, come on, man, like you got to have like some risk there. The risk of losing things that gives you the satisfaction of the fact that you did it.
Yeah,
but I feel you on that, man. So because I played Ultima Online, that was like the first MMO ever, and it was all about risk versus reward, man. So I feel that a lot.
I remember one time we spent 3 days raiding a base. The other team had, I think it was 6 players with all over 2,000 hours in the game on that server, and we wiped them, so they had 0 left. So we basically killed between 10 and 12,000 hours of gameplay from them.
Wow.
Which is very scary and very rewarding at the same time, because we know how it feels to be on the other side.
Oh yeah.
We managed to take over the server, and we actually ran 3 servers for a while, which is very time consuming but a lot of fun. When you wake up and you get a text message, we are being raided, then you have to go in, and you have to
in the
go.
middle of the night, like, I gotta go, babe. They're raiding my shit, the camp, they're gonna destroy everything.
Yeah, and I was a student then studying sports psychology, and sometimes in class I got a message, they are raiding us, like shit. And like as soon as the class ended, I just had to rush home, but it's so much fun.
I feel it.
But okay, back to like gaming is something fun, and we are really looking forward to everything blockchain related, because it can be so much fun. In a game like that, Ark, if we incorporate NFTs that are held in a smart contract that can be raided, then we get risk rewards that are of the next level. We will see a new level of rage quit, and that will be so much fun.
I can't wait for it, man. Like your NFTs are burned, like literally, like they burned your NFT house to the ground, but then the NFT at the same time on the chain on your wallet is also burned. Like that is awesome. I really can't wait for that.
Yeah, like, do you really want to send in this awesome item into the game that will give you an advantage? Are you sure you want to do this? You get raided, you die, someone takes it. They can go to the place where you can transport it out of the game or whatever. That will be so much fun, and that is totally possible. And I really look forward to that. And Minecraft for me on Wax is one step towards that direction. And I really hope we will see some of these games that will make us cry and laugh and feel all the emotions that we can. So, okay, Bitcoin, Ethereum, we have Litecoin, we have Engine. Currently, what's your favorite blockchain project?
Oh, come on, man.
If you can choose 2.
Okay, 2. You're gonna crush my communities. No. So picking 2. So okay, really, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Wax is definitely become one of my most favorite blockchains. I really love what's going on there. The community has been great. I mean, I've been with Wax since the ICO days as well. So I've seen every iteration, everything they've done. I've interviewed all the team members. I've even been down to the offices here in Santa Monica and hung out with William a little bit there, and I've supported all along the way and everything I could. So I really love what's going on in Wax. I've always believed in them. And so that I would have to say is definitely in my top 2. And then when you look at other things, you know, I want to say Engine and Ethereum, what's going on there, but really, as much as I love that, I you know, until we can get a solid scaling solution, I'm gonna have to bump to number 3. Please don't demote me, Engine Army. I still want to be your general. You know, I am the general of the Engine Army, if you guys didn't know. You know, one of the chains I really see coming up here, in particular, when it comes to NFTs, is actually Phantasma.
Yeah.
What they're doing with Ghost Market and some of the really great features they have there.
Yeah.
Really cool, man.
Yeah, and like I hate the tribalism in the blockchain space. It's a small community. There's a lot of projects doing awesome things and working and learning from each other, by each other, working together. That's the way forward, in my opinion.
100%.
And like for me, Wax is the most fun chain. It's the one I use the most. I like a lot of projects.
Me too.
Some of them do not go well economically, but it's fine. I like the project. I hope that they can build something amazing. And I really want to see something cool. And Phantasma chain is something that when I found out about the game that is built on that is something that is a very exciting game, and the NFT structure of that. Have you played that? The 22 Racing series. So
no, I mean, this 22 Racer, yeah, no, definitely. I have played that on stream already, man. It is a really cool game. It's like AAA level.
Yeah.
So when you talk about you know, racing games that you know, you'd see on an Xbox or PlayStation 5, like it's at that level. So yeah, I played it on stream. It's really fun, you know, having race passes, being able to customize your car with a bunch of different pieces. Each piece is an NFT, and like boop, 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 you put them all together. And you know, that's one of the features they have in general on the chain is NFTs of collections of NFTs. Right. And that not only works really great with games, but also with music. And that's really why, one of the reasons why I love what they're doing, because an artist can go and create NFT tracks of each one of their songs, and then package together in an NFT album, and boom, then, you know, they could buy the album, or they could buy the track separately. Or then if they bought the album, they could then, you know, part the tracks out and sell 2 or 3 or something, and then keep a couple. And so I love the flexibility there, unlockable content. There's so much good stuff, and the team is really solid. So yeah, I'm really loving what they're doing there, and it's a great community effort. You know, it's not like you got like this big company coming on and saying, "Hey, look what we're doing. We got all these IPs. Look at us." And you know, well, it's not really it's not really fully done or really NFTs yet, but we swear we'll get there. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. I'll probably get some flack for that one.
Yeah,
I'll probably get some flack for that one if you guys out there know what I'm talking about, but that's okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of big talking and not so much delivering on projects. Right. And those bundles that you talk about, Simple Assets designed that even before Blankos was announced to use blockchain. So that is, before Blankos announced their NFT standard, Simple Assets went out and announced their standard, and that's the one that Garbage Pail Kids Series 1 is using on Wax. Now everything is using Atomic Assets. But they have the bundle feature as well, which is very cool. It's just not utilized, because something they suck at is marketing whatever they are building. I mean, you can build awesome tools, but if you don't push it, people don't use it, it doesn't matter. And I'm really happy that Phantasma is also working on these things, because that means that more people are taking everything forward in different directions, which will make everything grow.
No, exactly. I mean, and like you said, I'm not the guy who is, you know, very tribalistic. I love to be part of these communities. I actively try and contribute as much as I can and really be a part of the community, not just like, oh yeah, here I'm pumping my back. People will say, oh, Stache, you're pumping your back. I'm not, man. I'm truly not. You know, these are projects that I invest my time into. I invest my money as well, but really the main thing and what's the most, you know, important to me is my time. You know, investing my money is one thing that doesn't cost a lot of my time, but investing my time costs a lot of my damn time. So, you know, but I love it. So I love being a part of these communities and really helping to support whatever way I can. And I mean, if you're doing something cool and I like it, I'm going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you consider that pumping your bat, I don't know, I guess, but it's not like I'm at BitBoy level here, guys.
Yeah, there are some content creators that used to put it out only informative, good content. Now it's a lot of informative and good content and shilling projects that they bought before. I guess that's part. I mean, we could say that Elon Musk did the same thing when he bought a lot of Doge and then started to write about it. I don't think it's the other way around. But yeah, so that's something that happens. But you said that you're a programmer. What kind of things do you work with?
Yeah, so these days I don't do much of the actual coding. So my company, I've run my development company here over 10 years. And so, we work on all kinds of projects, trying to move more into doing blockchain stuff. But mostly what we focused on in the last decade is, custom development, e-commerce. We do a lot of e-commerce stuff. So helping, businesses get online, do custom features sometimes, things that are like, oh, well, this doesn't work. We don't have this feature out of the box. So we'll develop those things. And so, but definitely been trying to move more in the blockchain world. And, I'm actually I'm on project number 3 or 4 or 5 right now. I think I have 3 projects that are blockchain focused right now that are in the works. I've already done 2, both have failed. The first 2 have completely failed. I mean, that's okay, man. They failed for specific reasons, and what are you going to do? It's just not everything is going to be successful, but for different reasons, they both were not things I wanted to continue with, and so I pivoted and I'm working on some really cool stuff right now. That it's all swirling around. I want to share it, but I like probably 2 or 3 more weeks until I can really like give good peeks of what I've been working on. But it's exciting, it's different, it's new, it's fun, it's NFT stuff.
Very nice. And you have started to dropping NFTs on Wax. So how has that experience been?
Yeah, it's been great. It was always my intention to get going with NFTs and Wax, because I've been minting NFTs on Ethereum since 2018. I was trying to give them away at conferences in 2018. People, I was like, hey, I got these great NFTs. I made them custom for this event. You guys want one? Like 2 people, like, yeah, I'll take it. No, like seriously, nobody cared, man. I did the same thing in 2019. Nobody cared then either. I was doing it at my meetup groups in person. A few people would come up and do it because I would always be talking about it at the meetup, so they kind of get interested. But it's been a long road of me being an NFT creator and trying to get people on board. But I love doing it on Wax. The only thing that pisses me off is that during that time last year, quarter of last year, when I was like, my head wasn't in the game, I had already decided I was going to do some NFTs. I had already got them like ready to go, but I just didn't pull the trigger. And for whatever reason, someone went and registered my name on Wax, CryptoStache. They took my name. And so now I didn't realize that on Atomic, you can't create a collection name if you don't own that name as an account, or if someone else already owns that account name. Yeah. And I did not realize that was one of the stipulations they had on Atomic for something like that. And so, yeah, it was unfortunate. So it's a dead account. There's nothing on that account. They have no transactions, no NFTs, nothing, except for the one I sent them. Yeah, except for the one I sent them, which was like, hey, please sell this shit to me in NFT. So if you're out there and you're listening and you guys say, and you own this, man, still love to you. Please sell it back to me. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's the same on EOS that there's a lot of name squatters.
Yeah.
For good and bad. Yeah, I tend to buy the premium names for things I use. I bought the Block 1 account on Wax just for fun. And the first NFT series that I like, the collections I made, was the first day Atomic Assets was live. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make something, and I made 2 collections, one for badges and one for my own stuff. Which now in hindsight, I should have used the Anyobservation account from the start, and I should have made 1 collection and used different schemas, but I didn't understand better at the first day.
We made mistakes, and in hindsight too, I did a similar thing. So when someone took my name, I was like, oh, what do I do? So I was like, all right, well, I'll just make the S of Stache a 5 instead. Like I can do that, that'll work. But then I didn't realize, like, in search, then if people are searching for CryptoStache, they're not ever going to find my shit because the 5 is there. So what I should have done was made the E a 3, because that would have been perfect. They would have typed in CryptoStache, and then it would have already popped up by then. And then who cares if the last one is a 3? So I don't know. I might move to that unless someone else steals that shit too. I don't know. Please don't steal, please.
You should buy the Stache premium account, but then you have to make a new collection and everything like that. So yeah, it's a headache.
It is. Yeah, I've already started doing a bunch of stuff on the one I have, and so I'm just gonna probably ride on it, and if that's the case, then that's the case, and then I'll just kind of keep going. It's easy, it's still really hard to find NFTs on Atomic. There's especially if you do drops from too. So I actually created a page on my website, CryptoStache.com/NFTs, and all of my NFTs I've ever created are there. You can click the link and go buy them directly. If there's a drop still active, that's the cheapest way to get them, and so that's the link that you'll get. If there's not, then then they're just secondary marketplace ones.
Yeah, and actually, Wax Stache, which is kind of fun considering. That marketplace is being rebuilt, and a new iteration. I have seen it, and that makes a lot of searching and browsing a lot easier. The search field is actually smart, so it's a star search before and after whatever you're searching, so it can be in the middle of something. So if they write CryptoStache, I guess your collection name is that, not the account name.
Right.
Then they will find you either way. If they
and you think that's kind of how it should work, like. You don't have to do the exact collection name. Why is there even a display name if you can't search by display name?
So on that page, you can do that. You can do a lot of cool things with the search bar, which is, we expect that to work, but it's not always that easy to implement for everyone, depending on what you do. There's always a lot of things that has to be improved. So we are getting a new marketplace with the user interface. For me, when I played it, now I know everything, so I might be mistaken here, but it feels like the best place for a beginner to go to. I might be wrong. I might have a mistake there, but it will be fun when we see that go live.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing that iteration, man, for sure.
So you have an unofficial punk stash. What is that? So those punks, they are crazy.
I know, right? So and there's been a lot of stuff going on. So this kind of all came about because when Binance Punks launched, which was a straight stealing copy of the original CryptoPunks. They just stole the art and then decided, we'll just put it on Binance and charge a bunch of money for it. And it's not the same team, it's just some scammers, right? Yeah. And so we talked about that very extensively on the NFT Beat live stream I do on Tuesdays. And everyone's like, it's horrible. I didn't agree, and me and Ken are a little bit at odds there, but in general, then that kind of led me to seeing this whole rise of like the unofficial punks, which I actually thought was a pretty cool project because it's a similar style, but it's like expanding on the punk universe with unofficial versions and things like that. And they say they're unofficial. We're not associated with the team. This is not the same thing, And I like the fact that they went that direction. So then, like the other day, I just kind of put it out. I was like, hey, who's gonna make me into an unofficial punk? Can someone do it? Hit me with it if anybody wants to. And I got like three people that did. They all submitted little like stash punks, and I said, whoever does, like, I'll mint an NFT with them, and we'll put on my collection and do like a little collab. And so my new friend that I ended up the winner I picked was a Jay Delay, and he did my favorite one. And so so we dropped that here on Tuesday on my wax collection. And it's the unofficial punk stash, and it's $1. So I had it at $1. It's a stable, so I'm selling it in USD, not value. So it'll fluctuate.
I think that's good for a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, especially for smaller things like this. Like I want it to be cheap. I didn't want it to keep going up in value as wax goes up in value. I want people to be able to get them because I made them a little bit more of a higher supply, so people could actually enjoy them. Instead of it's like, oh man, it went up 3 times or 4x since the last time I looked. I'm not going to buy it now,
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing. Like I've been selling these slices each month, which is it's kind of basic design wise, but it's instead of just asking for some kind of Patreon or subscription or whatever, I sell NFTs because hey, I'm talking about NFTs. It makes sense, and I've been locking them to dollars from the start. Yeah.
It's a great way to support somebody, man. And there's lots of different ways to do it, but doing it with NFTs is actually pretty cool. You get like a little like receipt of support.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a badge or tag, and if I continue with this and the channel grows, then the first one that buys it, I don't know, it might be some collectible value in the future, or not.
Now, okay, so what happens though when I get a full pizza? So I have enough slices that I can make a full circle pizza. Do I get a bonus, or do I get some sort of special prize, or do you airdrop it so people have enough slices to make a full pizza? How does that work?
TBA. That's all I can say.
You like that idea though, man? You should do that.
It's like the idea about slices is that, okay, slices, that's a part of something. What happens when you combine every one of them? But I have not yet finished whatever happens after, so I'm not gonna promise that anything will happen. Just that I'm planning and hoping that I will pull it off. But yeah, so far
well, there you go, guys. You heard it first, right here. He's not planning yet, but he's going to. So you're
yeah,
more utility.
No, but it's fun. Like I'm airdropping to them each month, different kind of NFTs from sponsors, or I buy NFTs, I sell some, I make profit, then everything else I have I keep count as free, and then I start to send them out to people as well.
Yeah. I buy more people's NFTs and spend more on supporting up and coming artists in Wax than I do selling my own. Seriously, and like and two people have been hitting me up because I said in my latest video, I was like, hey, if you need help getting started on your first NFT, I'll send you enough wax to cover the RAM, so you'll be good to go. And people have been hitting me up for that, and I've been seeing some great creations and people getting in it, and so that's what I love seeing, and then I support their art. I'll go and buy it. Like if it's something, I go, oh, hey, they did a great job, and look at this cool thing. I want to be a part of that, and so I go and buy and support them, and then maybe end up doing collaborations with them too. So it's a lot of fun to be able to do that and support up and coming artists and
yeah, exactly. And I feel the same. Like I'm in a good enough position right now that I can start to spend money in for other people. Like I'm here in the Wax ecosystem. I'm not planning on leaving. If I'm making money selling and trading NFT, I'm having fun, and then I can start helping other people to have fun as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
which is awesome. So outside of the NFT space, what else is very interesting in the crypto space, or is it only NFTs?
No, I mean, NFTs are definitely the thing I like the most. Like I said, it's something that I latched onto very early, and I love the potential because of the creative side there, and obviously how it then ties back into gaming.
Connected. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. OBS decided to go off. We are back on YouTube. Everything should be good. OBS didn't like me for some reason.
Maybe when we started deciding to talk about something besides NFTs, they're like, oh hell no.
Talk about NFTs or we are kicking you off the network right now.
Right.
That has happened once for me before, and I don't know why. Magic internet. Interoperability between chains. Interoperability can be about many things. So
I mean, I think that really just being able to be able to push data and coins across different things. So, something that is working on Ethereum is also going to work on Polkadot, is also going to work on Substrata, is also going to work on Wax, is also going to work on, Phantasma, where you had, because that's one of the big questions I get too, just coming, I hate to go back to NFTs, but people are like, but what happens if this blockchain goes down, or then no one ever wants to use it again? Like, where do I, what happens? Or what happens if they mint an NFT, the same one that they just charged thousands for and said there will only be this many on this chain, and they minted on a different chain? Well, what happens then? And I go, well, there's not a lot of recourse you can have. But if everything kind of flows like that together, I think that we have a lot more control over that across these different networks, right? Think about that. So it's like, well, if someone's trying to verify that a Binance Punk is the original creators of CryptoPunks, well, you can't necessarily do that through Binance Smart Chain. Not really. I mean, you can, because there's the ETH bridge there, but the data doesn't really search in that kind of way. You know what I'm saying? You can't, as a user, just be like, oh yeah, I'm searching here, and it searches all the things, and you would see, oh no, actually no, Binance Punks are not the originals. There's these other ones called CryptoPunks.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a pretty big factor for me, and I think that out of everything that we've seen in the industry, I think that's one of the things we need to work on the most. Other people would probably say it's DeFi, but I really don't care about that as much. I really want to see more.
Well, to be honest, Bitcoin is DeFi. I mean, it's decentralized finance. Bitcoin is whatever everyone wants everything else to be. It's just, I don't know.
Right. Well, it's just not farmable and shitcoinable like something like Ethereum could be. So that's why they don't want to do it with Bitcoin, or like in particular. I think that has a lot to do with it. But So yeah, I think that's really one of the biggest other things, major things that I see people working on, projects working on that really is going to change the shape of what's going on here. I also like real world applications, so things that put real world data onto the blockchain
Yeah.
in different ways. So whether that be, supply chain tracking, or even just, tennis shoes that you purchase that you could then get, virtual version, or, real estate data, things like that. Like, I think that there's so much efficiency that can be had in just using basic blockchain technology to track a lot of this stuff and reduce overhead for businesses. And I think we'll see a lot more of that, like enterprise level stuff coming here in the next couple of years too.
Yeah,
because if you can save $20 million a year, like, why not?
yeah, and I really want everything in a government to be using a blockchain so everyone else can audit what they are doing. I mean, no, that is wishful thinking,
Transparency.
but yeah, I would love that. And like for a business that does shipping all over the world, if their database is also reachable for everyone else in a nice way, and they can integrate it into their software and everything, that is very nice.
Yeah.
So like to get data that can be trusted and immutable, and you can see everything for the consumer, for everyone involved, that's the only way forward. I mean, it's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard and it's not. You're right. Like, it's not that hard, but it is hard, because really the hard part is not necessarily even the development. It's the acceptance.
And also building a new software to companies that has something that works for them.
Yeah, it's a turnover, right? Like, because I work in, development world, I talk with companies all the time, and they're using systems still from the 80s.
Yeah,
I'm not joking, guys. There's people who like, oh yeah, we had this system built in the 80s and we're still using it today. I'm like, what? Like, no joke, man. They have these like closed crazy systems on these old ass computers. They can't upgrade the computer because the system won't work on it. I mean, so there's so much infrastructure that is built out there, and people are just and companies are very slow to adopt a lot of those things, especially large corporations. A good question, and something that I kind of thought about, but when I did an interview the other day with what's his name from Wax? Damn it, why is his name not coming in?
I know who you mean, the new guy, and I really know his name. And
yeah, I know, it's like on the tip of my tongue. Anyway,
his interview with you was great, by the way.
Yeah, we did exactly. We did a good. And so one of the things we talked about there was like, well, with these big corporations coming into crypto, they have all kinds of regulations, red tape, and all the other crap that comes with having a mega corporation. How do they account for even just holding cryptocurrency on their balance books, right? Because for an individual or small business, okay, it's easy. You got the head guy, he's making the decision. But with a massive corporation like that, there's so many steps and things you have to think about. Like, does just the accountant get all access to it? Or, how does that work? And what if he transfers to a wallet? It's never there. So there's so many considerations to take for corporations, even just holding crypto, let alone using a crypto-based system. I mean, I think that's why we see just really a lot of cutting edge technologies, or tech companies that are really incorporating it. People like like what Michael Saylor is doing, and I just call it pulling a sailor now. Right. So when you go and put crypto on your business balance books, you're pulling a sailor. And so yeah, I think that we'll see more of that. But obviously, tech companies will be the first ones to adopt, because they're always constantly upgrading these things because they want to stay on the edge of technology. But most companies do not.
Yeah.
And that is a big hurdle. That's a huge hurdle.
Yeah. And who we were talking about is Lee Jenkins, by the way. From the Wax team.
Lee, yes.
Yeah.
I know. I was right there. I was like, I see his face. I'm like, I know, man, we had a great combo. Yes, Lee. Yeah. So me and Lee were talking about that, and we went really, in kind of a little bit of depth in that. And I was like, yeah, it's a really great point, because we were talking about Capcom, and it's like, well, how do they, people are mad because they can't use crypto in the initial sale for the cards.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do you expect them to hold that crypto? And it was like, I don't know, just in a wallet, right? But there's so much more to that, to a mega company like Capcom, which is a global, name. It's a global company with so many working parts. And so there's a lot of considerations there for companies and for the future and stuff like that too. So
yeah. And on like reading the future, where do you see NFTs, and what do you think will be the big things?
The future. All right, here it goes. I'm gonna reach into my Stache crystal ball. No, what it comes down to is that For the future, man, I think in the longer term, the 5 to 10 year term for NFTs, I think we'll see everything become an NFT.
Yeah.
Everything unique, anything that is a unique thing, I think we'll see it backed by an NFT in some sort of way. So I'm gonna make sure I have the first actual legit house NFT that I'll make them create the NFT when I buy it, and I'll buy it with crypto, and they'll transfer it to me, and then I'll have the first house NFT. Same thing with, a driver's license or passport or any legal document. There's so much there that's beyond just the creative side, like the fun side that we're doing now. That's always, I think, the first thing to really gravitate is for a new technology that offers a lot of improvement on whatever we're doing before. The creatives get in it first, and then we'll start to see more physical application, real world applications for it that are very data focused, like
I think like one of the more mainstream things that we should see quickly, because it's not hard to make, is tickets for events.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Everyone can verify the primary buyer, the secondary buyer, the event. Everyone can verify that it's the real thing and not the fake one.
Right.
And you can just need a QR code with an app to sign it. All you need is an app that has with the NFT and a QR scanner, and that is it's very basic. You just need an API to speak to, and yeah.
Well, I mean, the technology can be there, man, but in particular with ticketing, that's a very entrenched world. There are only a few players in the major ticketing businesses globally, and I can guarantee you, just like some of the past things that we've seen with major holders of an industry, like in the music industry, the ticket industry, they will not let go very easily, man. Yeah. They want to keep control over that, and if they do what you're talking about, there's too much transparency. They can't keep a monopoly on it or keep it seeming like it's not a monopoly, right? The illusion of not being in a monopoly, even though they may be. And so, yeah, I've seen quite a few projects come and go already in this space that were going to focus on revolutionizing the ticket industry. And you know why they came and went? Because they get absolutely crushed by Ticketmaster, Golden, all these other people who are in the ticket industry at the very top level. It's one of those vicious industries, man, where it'll be a long road to get there, I think, honestly.
Yeah, not only do they issue tickets, it's the one place you go to find events as well, at least from my point of view, unless you find it in some marketing. So we have a few questions, like what are some NFT projects that are coming up that have investment potential? Do you have anything?
Investment. So do you mean like investment potential in the actual coin that's underlying it, or in just like the game or the product?
I would guess that he means NFTs, like NFT collections or series or projects.
Yeah, I mean there are quite a few good things going on right now. I mean, if you guys haven't checked out NBA Top Shots, I don't know how you wouldn't have, or maybe heard about it, but that's definitely crushing right now and is a lot of fun. I'm actually really enjoying it. Another one which I don't get into because I'm not a big fan of football, but is Chills, or the Socio platform. So they've been having a lot of success over there. I know they did a Binance launch pool for that not too long ago for all the teams, and their NFTs. So those are really cool, and what they're doing on that. And as far as like other up and coming ones, I think we just covered what Avagachi was doing. So I thought that was pretty interesting, like kind of their way that they've gone about that. Also been looking more personally into Terra Ventura, so TVK, and what they're kind of doing on that platform, because in kind of contrast to what I would almost consider a competitor, but not. I mean, they're not doing exactly the same thing, but with Omi, right, or the Vivi app. Terra Ventura is doing stuff with upcoming things, and I think Vivi is more of like, oh, we purchase IP and we're doing license things of like stuff that's already been out there, Batman, Back to the Future, stuff like that. But Terra Ventura, they're actually working on a cool thing with an upcoming movie with Legendary Entertainment, the Godzilla versus King Kong. So they're going to have NFTs that launch with that and are part of it. And I thought that was really cool. And I think we'll see a lot more of that, especially with big entertainment studios seeing the potential and then releasing promotional NFTs and things around the upcoming movie. So I thought that was a really cool, interesting thing. What else is going on right now that's that I really like? Obviously there's one of the other cool things that we see too is Atari. So Atari's been really getting into blockchain a lot. They're working with several of the virtual worlds. They've revamped, their online offerings. They're coming with an online casino, and then they're going to have plots in all these other virtual worlds for experiences. But they also, one of the things a lot of people haven't even seen is that they launched their own brand new console, the Atari VCS, last year. And it's a blockchain enabled console. They don't market it like that, but it totally is. And so I actually pre-ordered one, but I didn't make the cutoff for the very first round, so I'm waiting for mine still. If you guys are watching Atari,
if you look reviews on that,
it.
it's very mixed, by the way.
Well, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I want to get my hands. I want to be able to like really get down to the nitty gritty, but it's like a hybrid between a traditional console and having a computer. So you can upgrade it, but it works, and interface is more like a traditional console. So I think that's pretty, just the concept and everything I read about it seems cool. Mixed reviews, sure, probably, but I think because a lot of people expect it to be like a AAA gaming, thing, and it's not, and they never intended it to be, and then they're not trying to compete with PlayStation or Xbox, and they're definitely not even trying to compete with a Nintendo. I think they're really trying to bring something different, and it just has like, I think the realization of that idea hasn't come to fruition really because of the development cycles with some of the other stuff they're involved in. But I think once it's all there and the ecosystem is fleshed out, I think you'll see a lot more people seeing how cool it really is.
That's good. There's a lot of things. And one thing that I am not interested in is Top Shots. And that is basically because I find basketball boring.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's definitely, not everyone's cup of tea, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and like, okay, I did enjoy when I lived in China for a year, and when I was at the gym and running, there was a TV in the treadmill, and I always watched Chinese basketball. It was very exciting and entertaining.
Oh.
But that's about it. And I'm like, the only sport I watch is CrossFit, which is a sport that only a few people in the world actually give a damn about. And I don't think it has. If they released NFTs, I don't think it would be that interesting.
Maybe, yeah. It's like curling NFTs. You guys want to get these new curling NFTs, man?
Yeah, but I do understand there's a lot of people that love this, and it so makes sense. And I really hope that we will see Top Shot going into a public accessible blockchain and solve all the potential issues that will bring.
Yeah, well, they already announced that they're coming to OpenSea, so that's just a matter of time, I guess.
Yeah, that's very good. I also saw someone, since I'm not following it, I could be wrong, but they said that they don't want people to sell Top Shots outside of their market on eBay and stuff like that. I could see that. Yeah, like people doing it on eBay and stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of it is just, you're not really going to be able to control a lot of those things. And I think that the more you try and control something like that instead of building for it, the deeper hole you're going to dig yourself into. Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned Godzilla there as well, and I knew that Topps is bringing Godzilla NFTs in some way. Is that?
I see your comment there, P-Wall. Stop trying to troll me, man.
The Ben Stiller one, no?
So Godzilla NFTs. Yeah, Godzilla's coming to Wax, and it's coming to the Terra Ventura thing. So Terra Ventura is like with the movie, and I think the Wax ones are they're just going to be like, classic Godzilla stuff. And actually, I'm probably more excited for the Wax ones, not gonna lie, because it's more of like a historical thing versus being on a new movie, which maybe is not as exciting for me, but yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
And then Leonard Nimoy is also coming too. I think that drops here pretty soon. Like they have a bunch of cool things that are, if you're a Star Trek fan, that's a pretty cool thing to have. And I can't wait till they get to Star Wars. That's when they're gonna all my money will be gone, all of it. I'll buy everything. I'm not kidding, man. I'll go $1 million into Star Wars NFTs.
You will have a lot of fun then, I guess, because I don't think you will be alone. People have been talking about that from the start. I love Star Wars. I watched them all. I really enjoy them, but I don't really understand collecting that much. And yet I say that, and if you look at my accounts, if anyone follows me, they can figure them out. You will see that, okay, I don't like collecting, but yet again, I have thousands of NFTs. But yeah. So that's that. What is the?
Yeah, you're like, I don't know, but then you're like, I have thousands and thousands of NFTs. Like, you will, man. That's the collector in you. You can't stop it.
Yeah, I will buy them for sure, but I don't think I will buy them for $1 million. That would never happen.
That's funny.
But I would buy them. I'm a pack addict. I buy packs. I open them. I sell some NFTs. I get licked with wax. I buy more packs. I open them. I sell. I buy more packs. I'm really enjoying the whole process there. Will Star Wars be built on Wax or Disney? We have no idea, mate. We are hoping Tops will bring it here because they have the IP. We're hoping, but we do not know.
Yeah, that's what we've been like from the get-go, man. When I saw Tops get on board, I know how much IP they have, and that was my first thought, dude. At GBK1, that's why, you know, I was like, dude, this is it, man. They will come with it. I understand they got to really like take it slow, but they'll get there. I think, man, they'll definitely get there. They see the potential. You know, they've ramped it up more and more over time. You know, they're doing a lot more now. They got aliens NFTs that are coming, and you know, so I think they definitely see the value there. And I think they're going to continue to move that direction. Someone asked me, because we were talking about this on my show, and you know, a lot of people were getting confused by the Topps digital app, thinking, oh, they were buying wrestling NFTs and they were buying Star Wars NFTs. It's like, no, man. You know, unless it says Topps times Wax, it's probably not an NFT. You're just buying something digital that lives in their little app, and that's that, man. And it's cool, but it doesn't have the same kind of utility and value that an NFT does that can go outside of those ecosystems, be bounced around different marketplaces.
If the Topps digital app disappears, the assets go away. If it is an NFT on any of a real public blockchain, you can add them into any other application and they work.
Exactly.
And if that blockchain goes down, you can just have a snapshot and you can launch it again. So yeah, it's possible. That's the power of decentralization. But okay, the CryptoStache, who are you outside of this world? We see you, you play games, you live in the coding world, you live in NFTs. Do you have a life outside of this?
No, that's it, man. That's all I do. That's it. That's NFTs, coding, blockchain gaming. That I literally live that shit. I mean, no, I do other stuff for sure. I'm a very busy guy in general, so yeah, I am like super into all the blockchain stuff. But you know, I have a family, and I'm a musician too, so I have a band, and we're actually working on a new album right now, or material for the new album, and we're going to start recording here later this year, which we were trying to do last year, but you know, COVID, man, and we couldn't really do much with the recording.
So when that album is done, which chain will the NFT be on?
That I'm going to put it on Phantasma.
Very cool.
I would love to put it on Wax, but you know, I would love to put it on Wax, but the reason why I'm not doing it is because Wax doesn't have some features that I would need really to be able to do it the way I want to do. We need unlockable content. We need to be able to have unlockable content for Wax for all these marketplaces, so we can create NFTs. Put lockup, you know, have an area for lockable content, so it's actually locked in there. You can see how many times it's been accessed. So there's some hiccups on Wax that will prevent me from really doing, you know, a big music launch there. But I will be doing it on Phantasma so far.
Very cool. So how long does it take to make an album?
Oh man, well, right now we're still tightening up the songs and trying to decide which set of songs we're going to go with. So you know, I'm thinking we're going to get into the studio the beginning of summer, beginning or middle of summer, and then I would say probably by the end of summer we'll have an album out ready to go.
Very nice. In the chat they say tell Wax what you need, and in this case the Atomic Asset Standards is made by the Pink Network team. The Simple Asset Standard is made by Crypto Lion. So if anyone wants to poke them, go and poke those teams, and I'm sure none of them are busy doing anything, so they will fix it. No, actually, last night the Strasbourg and that data center in Strasbourg burned to the ground, and that is why there's been issues with Atomic API today. Their main API burned to the ground.
I did not know that, man. I saw the issues happening last night. I thought it was Wax. I thought it was a cloud wallet issue, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Then, wow, burned to the damn ground.
Yeah, the servers died.
That's crazy. Well, that's why you gotta have co-located servers, guys, and cloud computing for your backend. So if one location goes down, you got it on somewhere else. You know.
And they had a backup. They have a backup, but having the same scale as the primary on multiple. Sure. That's very expensive. So they have a backup. The Atomic Hub was working. There was some issues with other projects using their API because they could not support all of them, which makes sense. Sure. There are more guilds working on supporting more API structures for this and decentralizing it. I know that many solutions are being built. We are very early still. Things will be better the longer we keep going forward. Yeah. So that's good.
I'm right there with you.
So one question that I used to ask before, I haven't done it in a while, is a great question that actually is an idea from my girlfriend. And this is something that you will have to think about. What's your first food memory?
My first food memory?
Yes.
Wow. That is a good dang question. Watermelon.
Why?
Because that shit is delicious. What do you mean, why?
No, but like in a certain context, or just watermelon.
Yeah. I mean, well, the feeling of like being a kid and like I don't know if I was in diapers still or if I was just like very small, but I didn't have like no shirt on, I think, and out back, and it being hot and there being a sprinkler and just having a big ass slice of watermelon and just like and it's just dripping everywhere and it's just watermelon's one of my faves and yeah, that's why.
I have seen that exact thing happen, but not with you, but with my own kid.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So it's one of those joys in life, man. I'm a big fan of watermelons for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's next for the stash? Anything you can
What
share?
is next? Yeah,
except building an album, working on secret things.
So okay. So here's the order of things I can tell. I'm for sure going to be uploading music to Phantasma. Before this new album is done, I have a catalog of stuff that I'm going to probably upload just to see how it goes as testing stuff from my previous project, which was really good. So I'm going to start there. I'm actually working and collabing with a very famous musician on an NFT that we're going to auction off, and part of it's going to go to charity, and he's going to be on my channel. So that will be really exciting. You'll see that here probably the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So definitely look for that. I'm working on 2 NFT projects right now, and then a third one that I'm pivoting from my old one. So for you stashers out there that might have been in my closed alpha for Loot Hall, the Loot Hall platform, I had to basically just not really walk away from, but I'm pivoting with that because it was all built on Ethereum. And and it's just unusable, man. And so I really, even with some of the scaling solutions, I think I want to, try and pivot with that idea a little bit more. So all you guys who helped me test that, I really appreciate that. But it's not dead. But it will pivot. But that's kind of the lower priority. The other 2 NFT projects that I'm working on, one is on Theta, so I can tell you that, and one is on Wax. I can tell you that. And then the other third one is another one, and it's just barely getting started. I can't really talk too much about that one, but possibly coming to flow. We'll see how that works. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of irons in the fire, man.
Is anyone with Gary Wee?
None of them are with Gary, no. But funny enough, yeah, I did an interview with Gary's like a main man, his right hand man, Tyler, the other day, and then a little bit, but cryptically before that, last weekend, Gary sent me a message on Twitter, and it was just 2 words. He goes, "Let's jam," with the little smiley face, and I was like, "Does he play music?" I'm like, "Damn, that would be kind of cool, man. We could jam, play some tunes. That sounds actually a lot of fun." And then then I asked Tyler. I was like, but wait, I said, Gary sent me this message. It's kind of cryptic, man. He never replied after I said a couple things, and he goes, "No, man, he doesn't play music." When he said jam, he meant like jam, like talk about NFTs. And I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes way more sense." So I don't know, man. We may do something in the future. Maybe I'll get him on my show, or maybe I'll be on his. I'm not sure, but it's good to see other people coming into the scene and trying to help foster development and things like that. And but obviously you got to be careful of some of the people who are just taking advantage of the hype and trying to cash grab, and the people who are actually researching and wanting to be a part of the community and are going to be in the long term. Those are the people I want to talk to. Those are the people I want to work with. And so far Gary seems like he's kind of along that line of like he's very interested in this and has done his research and wants to really be a part of the community. So I don't know, we'll see.
Did you see the rug pulled NFTs when we're talking about sustainability?
I did. I just saw that this morning. I was reading that on OpenSea where the guy was, he did this, and then he replaced all the images. Replaced all the images with rugs. I was like, that's so brilliant, man, and such a great artistic expression. That I honestly I couldn't stop smiling at that. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, and for anyone reading that and feeling any kind of FUD, you just need to use an IPFS hash to prevent that.
Boom. And I'm right there with you, man. That's something that I think is really important. If you're going to be hosting assets, especially high dollar ones, the ones that people paid thousands for, it needs to be in a decentralized network of file storage. Otherwise, you're risking the fact that someone's going to keep doing this, and not only will they give you a bad name, but they're giving NFTs a bad name. And I guess they don't care that they're giving themselves a bad name, because that's essentially what you do. If you go and screw yourself by doing that to your customers as an artist, good luck someone buying your shit in the future.
Is that even legal, by the way? I guess there are no legal frameworks in the NFT space, but
yeah, it's Wild West, guys. It's totally legal. You can do whatever the hell they want, because that's how the tool works. So if you build a tool that works like that and you give that ability to people, then what do you expect? I mean, that's eventually going to happen for sure.
Talking about decentralization and data, is there any, like, there are multiple crypto projects that try to solve this. One of them is Shea coin, which I really hope they succeed. I don't know if they ever will, but I really hope. They have a product is working. It's a little bit slow. What's your take on those projects?
I feel like nobody's really done it very well. I mean, done it as close to as good as IPFS in general, just for like what they've done and their adoption. They're used on multiple chains. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about interoperability, having apps and things like that work. They just work. It's great to see that. So I don't know. Shea coin's been around for very long. They've been around for a long time, man. They're not a new project. They're not a new coin.
They are cleared by the IRS as well, by the way. Is one of the few.
I would think by now, like, they would have already gotten their shit together. There's a couple other ones out there that are kind of like try to do like, cloud computing or storage. Golem was one at one point. They were trying to do like supercomputer stuff, and I think Filecoin, that's how they work as well. I haven't looked into Filecoin so much, Phil, but there are some other ones out there for sure.
Yeah, Shea coin has some web interface. You can just go and upload an image and it's on the Shea network. Everything is up and loaded directly. So it's interesting. But yeah, so we have been on this for a while. We have been talking about a lot of different things. Do you have anything you want to add before we call this a good chat for today?
Yeah, man, I think we went through the damn gamut right there. Everything that, everything we could talk about, I definitely, I'm exhausted on all the end stuff on my end, man. And it's been fun. I hopefully people got some good info out of this, or some insight, or, if you guys have questions, obviously you can always, hit me in my Telegram. I'm always hanging around there with the rest of the Stashers. Twitter,
website, and YouTube is linked below. If anyone wants to find it for you. And that's awesome. And for anyone, I will be playing some Minecraft this week as well. So I might stream that. I hope to do that. But then I also always have a lot of things planned that prevent that. But it will be fun. So thank you so much for coming on. Thank everyone for tuning in and watching this. And let's have an amazing time in the NFT and the crypto space. It's so much fun everywhere.
You know it, man.
Peace.
A Bitcoin bull is all I got left. Sold my house, gold no less. Wolves are circling, hollow hands. This man's stronger than the average man. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pen. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pen. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pen. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. Day the markets take another day to restart and refuel this moon boy ship. My dreams may be futile, but it's you say, well, my dreams may be futile, but Bitcoin bull keeps charging away.